So here's what's going down today. I'm going to scoot my microphone back a little bit. Okay, so what is the thing? Trying to think of the best way to explain this. We're just going to see what's different between the PC version and the PS4 version and Xbox version. Just a little glimpse. This is the open beta. We'll play through the tutorial and then pick our starting hero and then go from there. Look like they have been redone. So, and if you don't know about the PC version, I believe it was written like the main story by Michael Bendis, I believe it was. So they have Marvel writers and comic book artists working on this stuff, and that's why I love this game. The story itself is the same, from what I understand. The premise of this story, if you're new to this game in general, is Doom gets a Cosmic Cube and gets a bunch of heroes. Now, the cool thing that's happened, the tutorial which we're getting ready to play through has completely changed since the game originally launched 2013, maybe 12. I don't remember. It was a while ago. That is what's going on. And cool thing is we get to play as Cap. So that's delivery. Okay. So to start with, you see how we now have 4 powers Oop. I just used the dang med pack. But we have 4 powers, and our movement power has a charge of 3. That charge of 3 is something new that they added. You actually still have the same amount of powers that you would normally have with each hero. Inventory. And you now have your own menu for buffs, currency, and the currency is just about the same besides essences and time lost relics since the last time I played. So we gotta figure out what that stuff is. But on the hero, you have your medallions. Catalyst is new. I think that might be the. Nope, that's not the legendary. So you have medallion, legendary, or your weapon, equipment 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then ring, I'm assuming like looks on your outfit. Kind of like visual effects that happen. And then your artifacts, you have 2 slots for artifacts. And then as you level up, you get 1 more. And then a relic. So let's look at our skills here. And as you can see down at the bottom center, you can see the total 8 power bars. That is the same number as PC. But unlike PC, kind of like how it used to be, you have your 2 skill trees and they unlock as you level up. But then you have talents that enhance said skills. You have your ultimate. Then you have synergies and infinity system, which is new on the PC. It replaced the Omega system, I believe it was. But the ultimate unlocks at 60, and you can see the buttons in the background, L and R at the same time. Talents unlock at 32, and then synergies unlock at 25. So we are going to get through the tutorial here. The new tutorial has Ultron. Pretty much. Actually, can I roster? So here are all of the heroes you can play as. Okay, so let's go back up the top here. For example, for Angela, you have 450 G's, which is the in-game money, and then 250 Eternity Splinters. And I can probably get Beast when we're done. I was told you get a 525 to unlock 1 hero, and I currently have Daredevil, which I will not be able to switch to him until it allows. Daredevil is a PSN exclusive, like, free character. And then some cost $13.50. That's $13.50. The G dollar ratio is pretty accurate, or pretty on the money. So it's 100 G's is $1. But let's go through all of the heroes here, and just to show you their price. Iron Fist is a Founders exclusive bonus. I think you have to buy all of the Founders packs just to unlock it. And Jean is the one I want, and she is, of course, one of the higher ones. I was going to originally get Cyclops to start with, but they increased his price just like Spider-Man. Well, not price, but it took away his bonus XP that he gave on PC version. Spider-Man has always been this more expensive because, again, one of the more popular characters. Rocket is getting more popularity because of the Guardians movies and cartoons. So, of course, he's more expensive. But there is a good mix of Avengers, X-Men's, and other teams. And Wolverine, of course, is one of the other more expensive ones. War Machine you cannot buy unless you are a PS Plus member. Then you can buy buy his actual hero pack for $20 on the PSN store. The way this game works is when you buy the packs or the founder packs, you usually get a costume, some kind of consumables. Oh, dang, that actually. Now, the controls for this is exactly as you see on screen. X is your primary. Square is what would be your right click. So X would be your left click. Square is your right click. And, or at least for the way I set my powers up. And circle for me would be S, because that's my movement power. And you can still destroy the scenery. Oh, you did it for me. There we go. To bring up this radial menu, just touch the tap screen. Oh, and the stash is the range build. Holy crap. And if you need a heal, down at the bottom corner, you see your life bar, which is the red. Just hit L1, and eventually it will recharge. And you see the plus for your health kind of just refill, and once that refills, then you can hit L. Again, this is the open beta, so this could also get updated even more. And the PC version of the game actually got a big graphical update. And PC also, not too long ago, actually might have been a year ago, got the ability to use controllers. And I think that was the first step bringing this to consoles. Sad thing is, you cannot transfer any of your stuff over to the console version because they're completely different servers. Hulk is super freaking fun. If you like to just like smack things in the vicinity. Once you level him up, you'll get abilities to like just constantly jump. Super amounts of fun. And they reworked how each character plays too. So as you saw Black Widow, as I did my abilities, my spirit bar drained. But as the Hulk, alright, I'm going to switch over to Daredevil here. As the Hulk, as I did more fighting, I gained power. So that's his primary. Okay. So his square ability, you actually need a target to use the ability with. So let's see. And I don't know what the meter's called, but as soon as I get time to read it, I will tell you what his meter's called. And your circle, as they're telling you now, is your movement ability. There you go, level 2. New power, which is this one right here, which it automatically put on R2, and it's combo points. Combo points are usually for the defender heroes. I know Luke Cage has it, and so does Daredevil. I think Iron Fist might. But you generate combo points, and then certain moves use combo points, like this one right here. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, combo points spent. That's right. So you have a bar for that. You have a bar for stamina as well. Some heroes just have one or the other. Purchase a hero. Roster. Alright, so here's the question. Who do I want to play as? I was thinking Gambit, but I don't know. Colossus is fun. But, let's see. Kitty Pryde is fun too. I wish. Jean's just fun because, yeah. As you see right there. Let's see. I see they give you 512 or 525 Eternity Splinters to unlock your first hero. And I'm gonna look through this here. Don't want to do magic or Psylocke. Storm's pretty fun too. Kitty's fun. Iceman's okay. Like, Iceman's fun, but Cyclops is where it's at with my range. I might get Beast because he's new. And costumes you buy with real money. So just keep that in mind. Like, the one with Daredevil is the Man Without Fear from the Netflix series. I am going to get. Dang, they do got a lot. What is this one? Oh, wow. You know what? I'm going to unlock Colossus. He'll be my hero I run as. So his abilities, let me get to the skills here. So as I level up, I get to summon Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and Kitty Pryde. Then eventually I summon Magic. Now his abilities are really cool because, let me see, I have a Lariat that I know in PC I can just hold down and just run. But then he has his Colossus Roar, which if you played the 90s X-Men arcade, that's his special. So, it's really cool. I already have unlocked him. Did they just give me more? Let's find out. No, they did not. Okay. So now we're going to go to the raft, which is the original tutorial. We're to the original tutorial map or level. They've redone the map before on here as well. And as you can see, like, it's a lot different because you used to go down and to the right. Now you're going down and to the left. Yellows are elites, so they take more damage. Or, yeah, more damage to kill, and they deal more damage. And I got Wolvie. So I just picked up my first set of gear. And since this is the tutorial, it'll open it up on the first go and show you what it is. Once I pick up my next piece, I will show you what the different arrows mean. You have defense, and then you have offense. With that, it'll tell you which one it upgrades. And the upgrades, depending on how you like to play, if you like to be more defensive and build a tank, you can. On PC, tanks aren't really a thing. That's more about DPS and how fast you can do something, which to me I find kind of sad because this is a dungeon crawler. You need a tank sometimes, and you should be using the tankier characters as tanks. But it's what other people play it, and the people that play more DPS outnumber the people, or the people who play DPS outnumber the people who don't. So the game gets built around that. Don't like worry about not playing as a tank when you're playing a tank character like Colossus. He used to be flat out pure tank. Alright, so we just got another piece of equipment. It tells you where it is on your character. And as you see, it ups defense 3 times more than what I've had. And it's even with my current offense. And the reason why it ups my defense is it's an 8% boost to damage reduction and 142 health. Oh, Electro. And this game originally was made to be like Diablo 1 and 2. The original like studio head worked with Diablo, or worked with Blizzard, and I'm pretty sure most of the people that are still there work with them. And as you can see legitimately his tankiness. Like, I just stood there. And here, this one's ups the damage and defense. You get boss rating increased by 55 points for damage rating. And if I would use a movement power, I gain 52 damage damage rating to range powers. I'm a melee character, so that doesn't really matter. But that up for the boss damage does. That's pretty nice. And one thing to look here on the map, you see the question mark. That is one of the objectives. Or I would like to say it's the sub-objective, when the gold dot with the circle flashing around it is the primary objective. Also, you can see a blue triangle. That is your current position. And to bring the map up like that, you just push in the right thumbstick or hit R3. And you're good to go. And Wolverine just killed everybody. That's funny. Now, they turned Colossus into a summoning character, but he still has his attributes for a tank. But all of his powers are legitimately one target power. He has a couple AoE attacks, but not a lot of them. Now, if they gave him a buff for that, that would have been nice. That would be a good fix for him. Because that stomp is probably one of his few AoEs, since his other ones that he used to have were movement powers, and they now have charges. So you can't, well, what do you say? Spam them as much as you could. So we just got to that question mark and lock down the remaining cells, so nobody else is going to be getting out. One thing to note with this game as well is it added a lock-on feature, so it's easier to play as a melee character. And here's one of the biggest changes right now. You're fighting Goblin out in the open. You fought him in what do you call it? Like a room right before the end. And as soon as I can, I'm going to summon Wolverine again. Those red markers on the line on the ground are where their like AOE powers are gonna hit. So you just gotta dodge out of the way. That's one reason I am kind of like sad for the nerf and the movement abilities, because you have to be saving them more instead of using them for offense. You save them for defense. Which at the same time, I was just complaining about not having tank characters, and now I'm complaining about using skills for defense. Which that's all funny. Okay, so the trophies are live. That's good. Let's see this. So the goblin metal is 3 times worse than our living laser metal. But what he does, or his metal does, is when you drop below 30%, you drink the goblin formula, gain 16 health per second, and 9 damage rating to explosive powers. I don't have explosive powers, so. We got another new skill. Or no, we don't. That's the same one. Whenever you get your new skills until you highlight them, it'll have that little indicator saying you still have a new skill, and well, you just gotta go highlight it and get it back. And that is the tutorial. Pretty much Doom has like a master plan. I'm not gonna let the whole thing play out. But now we're in the hub, and this is where the stream will end, because I want to dive into the game before I just like show more, because I want to understand more and the things that have changed. So this is your waypoint system, like before. You have your essence vendor. Okay, so we could buy. Oh, there's unique costumes that you have to buy with essence. Okay. Okay, so these are like the shards, I think. What are they called? Like cube shards or something like that. And then we can come in here and actually sell some stuff. Sell a medallion. So, since we bought something on the store, every time you buy something, you get a manifest delivered to you, and you can sell it for credits. And then here's your stash, which, you know, it's a little different, but it's all one thing now, and you can expand it. $5 will get you a little bit more space. Now let's see what else we have up here. We have legendary item vendor. These are with the Odin marks. Most of these look the same. Might be a couple new ones. I have to double check. The way to Midtown is no longer right here. You have to use the portal, I believe, up top. There's research and development now. Let me make sure I do this. What is this? There's crafting in again. So, okay. I'll have to look into what each of these crafting things do. most of your same people are in here. This is the relic. Whoa, they changed what stuff looks like. Holy crap. I remember what, yeah, they changed what a lot of this stuff looks like. Okay. Because the relic of Wakanda used to be a little ball. That's pretty cool. Let's let's look at the image or the currency, and that is okay. So the relics now cost actual relic currency, and somebody's having fun over there. And then over here, let's see what's over here real quick. As I like run into a wall. So these guys in PC used to be another currency vendor, and they don't seem like they are. But you can now walk all the way out here. Well, you technically could have before, but it's cool. And the other cool thing you can do, if I can remember how to do it, go to social. You can create a public or private session to play with friends, so other people don't join you. Uh, Move to storage. Move to storage. There we go. But it's pretty much the same layout. If you used to know where things were, they're probably still there in that exact spot. The most important thing to note the difference with is Relic Vendor is where I believe it was Jarvis used to be, and then these Essence Vendor is over where one of the equipment vendors used to be, and all your crafting is now in the center here. So that's an easy quest. Wow. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this like first look of Marvel Heroes Omega on the PS4, and hopefully I get some free time enough to dive into this just like I used to with the regular Marvel Heroes and explore what has changed from this version compared to the PC version. The biggest thing really you can see now is the power bar and using a controller and actually having it mapped out actually really well. Uh, the layout of the life bars and everything is different too. It doesn't look identical to Diablo, but at the same time, it looks like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. You know what your powers are. You can easily switch to it, and as two-player co-op, if I actually had another controller, I'd legitimately log in with that, but I don't. It all it legitimately looks and feels the same, but plays better. They've fixed the controller problems I had on PC, and it works well on here. So, peace out, everybody. Have a wonderful day.